Hello and welcome to the Dragon Age Inquisition character creation for our second playthrough. So, in the first playthrough, we played the default human, male. He was very good. He was, yeah, that was pretty much it. He was the warrior. He is the default character in D&D when you're going down the list and thinking, okay, so you start with human, fighter, that was it. He was nothing special. Then, in our Origins playthrough, we had a rogue who was kind of neutral. He liked getting rewarded for things. He would definitely go for a reward, but he never did anything distinctly evil. He did a few things that were grey, but nothing evil. We then had our mage in Dragon Age 2 who was very much, he was about getting power for himself and trying to keep order. He was very much, he wasn't very chaotic. He was very, He was very structured in what he wanted the world to be in place. He didn't want there to be danger for all the people in Kirkwall. He was basically kind of a protector who wanted to gain power for himself. We're not going to be playing that in Dragon Age Inquisition either. We're going to be playing a Canary, and we're going to be playing a mage again, because mage I feel is the one who has the most investment in the story. But we're going to be playing a Canary mage who is very much about the chaos. They don't really care about anything in the world. They're just very much I'm gonna go and kill everything. I'm gonna try and, stir things up. They are also after power, but they're after it in a very different way than our 1 and 2. 1 Dragon Age 2 was very much they wanted power, but they weren't gonna go to any extremes to get it. They wouldn't betray their companions specifically to get power. This person, they will go to all means to get power. And that's what I'm kind of going for. Because the kind of Dragon Age line is that mages are bad, but the player characters obviously knows that mages aren't bad. They're just other people too. So this is kind of changing the trend. We are the bad mage, we're the evil mage. We're going to try and, instead of the first character I had was trying to make the Inquisition very, there wasn't going to be after the events that had happened. The Inquisition was just there to deal with it, and then it was going to go away and everything was going to go back to normal. This character is all about they want the Inquisition to be like their evil empire of characters. I want to see how that works. We're also not going to be afraid to, if companions want to leave, we're not going to do anything specifically to keep them. We're just going to be very much the way the character is, and then we'll see how the story progresses from there. Because I think that's going to be more interesting than as if you try and keep all the companions happy, you kind of go down a certain path. But I think as long as we can keep, say, 3 companions, that allows us to have a full party, I think we'll be absolutely fine. And we'll need to make sure none of those 3 companions at any point leave. I'll need to make sure that I know the companions that can leave later in the game, if we get to that point. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think BioWare they like to say companions will leave you, but actually they're fairly stuck to you. Anyway, why did I choose a Canary in particular? Well, basically they're not in the other games. You don't get a lot of time to explore the Canary as a whole, because Canary are only really a big part of Dragon Age 2. I mean, there's Sten in Dragon Age Origins, but he just kind of goes, and doesn't really say very much. He just kind of grunts a lot. You get a little bit of a view into their world, but not a lot. Dragon Age 2 gives you a lot with the Arashok, and it gives you kind of a larger view into how the Canary view other races. But you don't really get to see the Canary at their best. You just get to see the Canary as a kind of side character. They just get to see you're getting a Canary who's stuck in somewhere that's unfamiliar, and he is a Canary that's kind of, he has a task and he can't fulfill it. He's getting really annoyed, and you don't really get to see them at their best. I think playing a Canary character, you might get a little bit more view, especially given that there is a Canary companion in the game, and I think that you'd get a little bit more story with that companion if you are playing a Canary yourself. So, let's choose the Canary and move on to the next step. Also, in the game, Canaries get a 10% physical damage resistance, which is very nice as a trait. Especially if you're going to be playing a squishier character, this just allows you to like for the early levels, allows you to survive a little bit longer if you happen to gain some aggro. So, what kind of class are we going to choose? Well, I already said we're going to choose mage, so it's not really that as much of a surprise that we're going to be choosing mage. I mean, there are some others we could choose. We had a two-handed warrior in the last playthrough. The only reason I'm not choosing, like, we've already played a rogue in Origins, so I don't really want to play a rogue. I've already played a warrior in Inquisition, so a mage, given that they have the most story, like, being a mage in the Dragon Age universe gives you some story investment right from the start. It's because the basic premise before you going into Inquisition is it's mages versus templars. There's kind of a war going on. So having mages, having you be a mage, gives you already gives you a place in the story. Now for Qunari, that also gives you another step to that, because Qunari tend to treat mages as, like, the Qunari word for mages is Cerebas, which apparently, according to some people who've translated that, would mean dangerous thing. So Qunari treat mages as a danger. Like, they have them chained up. There's a quest in Dragon Age 2 where you specifically see a chained up Qunari. And I think it's going to be quite interesting to play a mage from the Qunari, like a Qunari mage who has broken free from the chains, both figuratively and literally. And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So, let's choose a mage. We're going to be playing this playthrough on hard. Basically, it's because Nightmare is going to be, like, super difficult, and the tactical camera and tactics aren't really that good in this game. Normal was a little easy. Hard seems like a good choice. Okay, Talvashov Mage. Followers of the strict religious philosophy of the Qunari appeared like a tidal wave to the north of Thedas 300 years ago. You're Talvashov, a Qunari who has rejected the Qun and never even lived in Qunari lands. You have earned a place within the Alokas mercenary company as its mage, possessing abilities that would have made you a pet slave amongst your own people, ignoring the fearful looks you receive from those around you. Most recently, the company was sent to the Chantry Conclave, hired swords meant to keep the peace, a task that has gone horribly wrong. So at this point, the game would start, but we're going to jump straight into the character appearance, and yes, let's just do that. And yes, it does say default world state, but that's because I'm having some trouble getting keep to import. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the game up, and then I'll use save editor and fix it. Right. So the character that I've decided to go with I've decided to go for the very kind of demonic look, the red eyes, the very large horns, the kind of weird looking ears with the kind of, just to make him look a little bit alien, just very much the kind of old kind of almost goat-like chin there. That's what I was kind of going with the character, just to kind of emphasize that he's evil. And the voice I went with was the other voice. There were two male voices. One is the same as the human male, as far as I can tell, as in the one that we had previously. So I went for the other one, which sounds a little bit like this.
Leave me no choice. How much is this going to cost me exactly?
Which sounds a little bit like Iron Bull, but we can deal with that when it comes to that point. We can just say that Qunari sounds similar, which is only minorly sounds a little bit racist towards Qunari, but we can all deal with that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that we are going to be naming the character Bass. Now, Bass in the Qunari language means non-Qunari, which makes a lot of sense for us because we're not a member of the Qunari. As we've mentioned before, the Qunari is a religion, not a race, so therefore that makes a lot of sense for us to just be called Bass. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough, which should be starting roughly after this video ends. So, see you then. Goodbye.